I stopped 6 medications in February 2024. What happened surprised me more than the diabetes reversal itself. I'm Neil. I've spent 13 years on medications before I reversed pre-diabetes and came off all 6 prescriptions. In the next 9 minutes, why I stopped and what made me feel confident enough to try. The blood test that followed, what my GP said 21 months later. First, the medication try. Mid-February 2024, 6 weeks into something that was already working. Boxing Day 2023, I'd started non-UPF eating, fasting windows, averaging 7 hours and 17 hours rest across the first 6 weeks, including a 10-day water fast in there and a 17-day water fast. And by mid-February, I was feeling genuinely, measurably better than I had in years. The statins ran out first. Statins, 40 milligrams daily. I'd been on them for 11 years. I looked at the empty box and thought, I don't think I need these anymore. I didn't renew them. The inhaler was different. I hadn't made a decision about the inhaler. It just stopped being needed. 46 years of reaching for it automatically since 1978. And somewhere in those 6 weeks, I noticed I wasn't reaching for it. Days, and then a week or two. The body had quietly stopped asking. The gout medication, the antihistamines, the estimine. I had some supply left. I just stopped taking them. I didn't feel like I needed any of it. No announcement, no dramatic moment, just a bloke who felt well enough to see what happened without them. What I expected was something to blow up, a cholesterol spike, gout flare, asthma attack at 3 in the morning. The internet's full of warnings about stopping statins suddenly. I'd been on some of these medications for over 20 years. I genuinely didn't know what was coming. What actually happened was not what I expected. 2 months before I stopped anything, my new GP ran a full blood test. It was the base plan full blood panel. HbA1c was 46. 1 point from the diabetes threshold. It'd been climbing for the last 8 years. 38 in 2015, 40 in 2016, 43 in 2020, 46 in 2022, and 46 again now. 8 years, one direction. Cholesterol, 8. Highest it had ever been. 11 years on statins. It started at 7.5. 8 years later, it was up to 8. Not down. My liver enzyme was alt 69. The normal upper limit is 40. Mine was 73% above it, while taking the medications. That's apparently what managed looked like. Monitored, medicated, and every single number was moving the wrong way. Results by email. I'm not going to pretend I wasn't nervous about opening it. Cholesterol 7, down from 8. Better than any reading in 11 years on statins. Liver alt 28, down from 69 after just a couple of months. Not because of something I'd taken, because of something I'd stopped. No spike, no disaster, the opposite. Now 7 is still elevated. I want to be straight about that. This wasn't fixed in a month, but the direction had reversed without medication in just 30 days. In-person GP appointment, he pulls up the results, long pause, looks at me. You back on statins? He knew I wasn't. Dry observations more than a question. The numbers had already told him. My HbA1c, 37, down from 46. Optimal, lowest reading in 13 years of NHS data. CRP, the inflammation marker, 1, down from 6.2. 84% reduction in measurable inflammation. ALT 23 from 69 on statins. ALT 23 from 69 on statins through 28 at 1 month. Now 23, still dropping, a record low. Cholesterol ratio, 4.7, within target for the first time in years. 8 markers, all moving right. And he said, fairly matter-of-factly about it, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. On email, HbA1c 37 held. Cholesterol 6.77, continuing to fall. Liver normal. Kidney function over 90. All satisfactory or better. 21 months, 6 prescriptions, not one restarted, and the NHS data, not my opinion, not something I'd read somewhere, showed a system measurably healthier than it was while medicated. 13 years of NHS blood tests. The actual numbers, the GP conversations, what changed and what didn't. If you want to follow someone who documents this properly rather than just talks about it, that's what this channel is. Subscribe if it's going to be useful to you. Here's what I only saw when I laid all the results out together. 3 phases, and each one is distinct. Phase 1, relief. Month 1 to 3, almost immediate. The liver stopped fighting the statins. My cholesterol dropped. Kidney function improved 13% in 30 days. The body had apparently been working quite hard to manage the medication load. When the medication stopped, it exhaled. Phase 2, reversal. Around month 11, HbA1c dropped out of the pre-diabetic range for the first time in 8 years. Not managed down, reversed. The number that had been heading towards type 2 diabetes since 2015 crossed back into normal without a single drug involved. And phase 3, optimisation. Month 12 to 14 onwards. Multiple markers hit their best readings in the entire 13-year dataset. Not just better than on medication, better than before medication, better than 2012. What drove this? Well, fasting, non-UPF eating, fixing the inputs rather than managing the outputs. And here's the thing I keep coming back to. The body gave me the signal before the blood test did. I wasn't waiting for a result to tell me I felt better. I already felt better. The inhaler I'd used every day since 1978, I just stopped reaching for it. Weeks before I even made a decision about the medications, the body knew before the data confirmed it. I'm not saying medication is wrong for everyone. I'm not saying stop your prescriptions. Don't do that without your GP. I'm saying that in my case, the data showed clearly that my medications were managing numbers that got worse on medication and improved when the inputs changed. What I would do differently, I'd have blood tests in January 2024 before I stopped anything. The December 2023 result is close enough, but I'd have loved a reading from the exact week I stopped. If you're going through any kind of medication review, track from day one, because every data point matters. What to watch for? If you're on long-term medication and your numbers aren't improving or they're getting worse year on year, that's got to be worth a direct conversation with your GP. Not to stop anything, to ask, is this medication actually working for me? What does improvement look like? What are we measuring against? These are questions I never asked in 11 years on statins. Is this making the numbers better? When I looked at the full 13-year trend, honestly, the answer was no. That question is worth asking. The early warning signal. If you're not on medication yet, but you've been told something is borderline, cholesterol a bit high, blood sugar creeping up, feeling tired and not quite right, you're at the stage where trajectory matters more than the numbers itself. My HbA1c was borderline in 2015. The trajectory from 2015 to 2023 pointed directly at type 2 diabetes. What I didn't know then was that trajectory wasn't fixed. It was responding to inputs, and inputs can change. If I was starting from borderline, I'd track 3 things. HbA1c every 6 months, cholesterol ratio, not just total cholesterol, and CRP, the inflammation marker. Those 3 numbers will tell you whether the direction is changing before it becomes a crisis. If you want to track your own numbers the same way, I've put a blood test tracker in the description that shows you which markers matter and what direction to watch for. The link is below. And please remember, everything here is educational. It's not medical advice. Before you change your fasting pattern, your diet or your medication, please speak to your GP. Next Monday, a different pattern, same detective process.